education for all. Today we are going to discuss active voice, passive voice, and this is in continuation of our first lecture, which was on voices. In our last lecture, we discussed the basics of active voice, passive voice. Just to refresh your mind, a few of the important points that we discussed in our previous lecture. If you have missed that, do watch it. Active voice, passive voice in English grammar is a very important topic, and students often find difficulty while tackling this question. Why do we need to change a sentence from active to passive voice? The answer is that in our daily life we use passive structure and we use it without even knowing it. In offices, for example, in banks, for example, in everyday news channels, for example, we come across passive structures. Now, when we change a sentence from active to passive voice, from students' perspective, you need to understand few basic things. You will often see teachers telling you 12 rules of active and passive voice, 6 rules of active and passive voice, 10 tricks of active and passive voice. But I think we should not just stick to those bookish rules. There is only one rule to change a sentence from active to passive voice. What is that rule? Let's get back to that. Now, just to refresh your mind, in English language, the basic ideal sentence has the structure of SVO, subject, verb, object. When we change the sentence from active to passive voice, what are the changes which we make by default? Meaning, we always make them. We move subject to the position of object and add preposition of agent before it. We move object to the position of subject in the sentence, and whatever form of verb in the active voice sentence is, we change it to V3, which is past participle form of verb, and we add a helping verb before that. All you need to remember is which form of helping verb do you need to add in your passive sentence, and it all depends on the tense of this verb. Now, on this board, you can see that I have written some of the tenses, and against each tense are some helping verbs. These are actually the helping verbs which you will add here. The rest of the changes are by default. You always make them. Now, this helping verb depends on the tense of active voice sentence. So, if we have a simple present tense, also known as present indefinite tense, we add is, am, or are before V3. Remember that helping verb is always added here before V3 or past participle form of verb. For example, Jessie bakes a cake. Now this is active voice sentence, and as the main verb tells us that there is S form of the main verb, which means it is simple present tense. So we add is before V3 while changing this sentence into passive structure. Now you see that Jessie is the subject and a cake is the object in this sentence, and bakes is the verb. So this structure is complete, ideal for a sentence to be changed into passive structure. Now we have moved a cake to the beginning of the sentence. A cake now begins the sentence, introduces the sentence. Now object becomes subject, and subject is moved to the end position, and we add preposition of agent by before it. A cake is baked by Jessie. Now this is the passive voice sentence or sentence in passive voice. Now let's take the second example. If we have simple past tense in active voice, we add was or were depending on our new subject. I call new subject means that object moves to the position of subject and it becomes our subject in the passive voice. Now, if the subject in the active voice is singular, that would take singular verb. But if the object is plural, because we have moved the object to subject position, now the verb accordingly will be a plural verb. Now look at this example. Lara caught a thief. Now the main verb tells us that it is simple past tense. Lara is subject, a thief is object. So when we change it to passive voice, we move a thief to the beginning. A thief and add the helping verb was. Because a thief is singular, therefore we add singular verb. Let's say if the original sentence was Lara caught thieves. Now thieves is plural, therefore we add verb instead of was. A thief was caught by Lara. This is the passive sentence. Simple future tense. In case of simple future tense, we only add be before the main verb. John will write a short story. A short story will be written by John. Remember that if there are already helping verbs in the active voice sentence, we do not remove them, we do not change their position. They are used on the same position in the sentence and they are repeated. A short story will be written by John. So be is added before written, which is the past participle form of the main verb. Then we come to progressive tenses, are also known as continuous tenses. And remember that we change present continuous into passive structure. We can change past continuous into passive structure, but we avoid changing future continuous into passive structure. Similarly, we avoid other continuous tenses, which are perfect continuous tenses, into passive structure. The reason is not because grammar tells it. The reason is, the question is why grammar tells it. Why grammar tells you to avoid changing a sentence of future continuous or perfect continuous tenses into passive structure. The reason is that because we add helping verb being before the main verb in case of continuous tenses. So if let's say we have a future continuous tense, for example, I shall be playing cricket. Now, I shall be playing cricket is future progressive tense. If we change it to passive construction, the sentence would sound like cricket will be being played by me. Cricket will be being. Now, you know that be is primary auxiliary and its ing form is being. It means we are just repeating the same helping verb, and that sounds quite awkward. So to avoid this tricky situation, we do not change future continuous tense into passive construction. Similarly, we do not change perfect continuous tenses into passive construction for the same reason. Because been, B-E-E and been is used in all passive constructions of perfect tenses. Now, been is a helping verb which is used in perfect continuous tenses as well. For example, I have been playing cricket since morning. If we change it into passive voice, it would sound like cricket has been being played by me. Now, it sounds very awkward that we are using been and being together, actually forms of the same primary auxiliary. That is the reason we do not change them into passive construction. If we have present continuous or present progressive tense, we add being. If we have past continuous or past progressive tense, we add being before main verb. For example, kids are eating toffees. Toffees are being eaten by kids. Or kids were eating being toffees. Toffees were being eaten by kids. Perfect tenses. Present perfect, past perfect, future perfect tense. In all perfect tenses, we add been as helping verb. The helping verbs which are already there will be repeated. He has submitted his report. His report has been submitted by him. He had baked a cake for me. A cake had been baked by him for me. I shall have helped the poor. The poor will have been helped by me. Now we move to sentences where we use modal verbs. You remember modal verbs? One of the types of verbs, categories, is modal verbs. And remember that this is spelled as M-O-D-A-L and it is pronounced as modal. M-O-D-E-L, modal, is something which you see in show business, on television, in TV dramas, in movies. Those are models. This is modal verb. We are talking about will, would, shall, should, can, could, may, might, must, ought to, used to, need to, and did. These are the modal verbs. So if you come across any of these in active voice sentence, what you do is you simply add helping verb be after it and before main verb. For example, she can help you. Now can is a modal verb. So when we change it into passive structure, we simply add be before V3. That is, you can be helped by her. Now we have gone through different tenses to see how could we change them into passive construction. And the simplest of the formulas is that you need to remember which helping verb to use based on which tense. If simple present, use any of these. If simple past, use any of these, and so on. Now, there are few more important points about active and passive voice which we need to discuss and you need to know. How to deal questions in active voice. When we change a sentence from active to passive voice, so far we have only discussed the assertive sentences, the statements, positive statements. And if we are tackling a question form to change it from active to passive voice, just identify the type of the questions. You know that there are two kinds of types of questions, yes, no questions and WH questions. Yes, no question is normally a piece of cake for students. They face difficulty in dealing with WH questions. WH questions are those which start with any of the WH word family. Where, when, why, how, etc. So, point to remember here is that a WH word in active question introduces the passive voice sentence and question form is retained. Now, this is very important that a question in active voice remains a question in passive voice. For example, why did he kill the lion? Now, did indicates that it is simple past tense. So the helping verb to be added instead is was or were. In this case, we will use was because of the singular noun lion. Why was the lion killed by him? Now, students often make mistakes in the construction of the sentence. They change the order, which is a faulty order or incorrect order. Why the lion was killed by him? Normally students write, why the lion was killed by him. Simple test is that for a while, forget about the WH word. Now the rest of the sentence, if you read it out, was the lion killed by him? Tells you it is in question form. If you write, why the lion was killed by him, the lion was killed by him, without why it would be why the lion was killed by him. If you exclude why, the lion was killed by him is a statement. So, the order of sentence must be correct in case of WH words. Helping verb always follows the WH word. Now the case of who and whom. If in active voice there is a sentence which starts with who, who automatically changes to by whom. For example, who killed the lion? By whom was the lion killed? Again, you have seen that helping verb follows by whom. The lion does not follow by whom. Who always asks question about the performer or the subject. Therefore, in this sentence, the subject is missing because we are asking question about the same. And if we want to ask a question about the object, we will start the question with whom. And accordingly, whom will be changed to who. For example, whom did you call? Whom did you call? So when we change it into passive voice, it becomes who was called by you. Who was called by you. Now, next important point in active voice, passive voice is imperative sentences. What are imperative sentences? Imperative sentences are those which express a command or an order, advice, a piece of advice. So, in these type of sentences, you will see that the sentence structure changes from SVO to VO, and in some cases only V, only verb. You might wonder if only verb can make a sentence. Of course it can. For example, leave, go, stand up, sit down. All these sentences consist of only verb or a verb phrase. No object, no subject. So in imperative sentences, the structure, common structure is either VO, meaning verb plus object, or only verb. For example, open the door. Open verb, the door object. So VO. Go, only verb. How to deal imperative sentences? Now there are two ways to deal with them. Number one, the construction with the help of let. Let plus object plus be plus V3. This is the first construction to deal with imperatives. For example, do your work. Let your work be done. Let your work be done. Second, object plus should plus be plus V3. In the first method, we use let and be. In the second, we use should and be. But the construction of the word sentence, the order of the sentence changes if you use the second construction. In this case, object begins the sentence and should be is used together before third form of verb. For example, respect the elder. The elder object should be respected. Verb at the end. Now, some people say that they are interchangeable. It is up to you whether you want to use this construction or this construction in case of imperative. Actually, it is a matter of preference. Preference is given depending on the type of the sentence you are dealing with. If the sentence is a direct order, a command, for example, read the story, open your book, open the door, come here, for example. In case of direct questions, you use the construction let and be. In case of imperative sentences, dealing with values, dealing with traditions, for example, dealing with morals or ethics, you use should be construction. For example, respect the elder is a piece of advice compared to do your work. Do your work is a direct command and respect the elder is a piece of advice. So in the second sentence, I have preferred the construction of should be. There is more to active and passive voice, and in some other lecture we will discuss those important points which are quite basic and quite important and significant, especially for people who are appearing in various competitive examinations. I'll see you next time. Till then, take care.